Hello, welcome to the Healing Hour. Hello, and I'm Tyhson Banighen, and welcome to the Healing Hour. I'm with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing, energy healing, what's up in your life, and what's up on planet Earth. You can phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464, and the numbers on your screen are 1-866-dowsing. So I'm a master dowsing healer. I'm also the energy detective, and I am a trauma buster. So if any of that relates to you and you'd like to free yourself up to get back on track, then I'm the person. So why not phone in and we'll give you a brief clearing and help you take back your personal power and stand in your truth. So like I said, the lines are open for the next hour, 1-866-369-7464. And we're broadcasting to a number of different channels. The one that I will be going over to and giving some comments on is a channel called the Dowsing and Energy Healing Closed Facebook group, where we have, I think, 4,300 members. So we'll be broadcasting over there, and I'll probably bring up the screen so I can answer the questions that have been coming up. But as I said, feel free to call in anytime for your own personal clearing or to ask any questions on dowsing and energy hearing. So I'm about to share the screen, and we're just going to go over to the site itself. So here we are on the site. I'll try not to scroll too fast to make you dizzy. But so Kathy Wilburn says, I'm working on a healing circle for toxic vaccine ingredients, but getting a bit overwhelmed. My source in this independent analysis, which shows many more ingredients than the manufacturer discloses, including graphene oxide. And the discussion has been really interesting around this. Of course, COVID-19 Information Center had to get involved and said you needed to get the proper vaccine information. But the point that's important here is if you're going to do a clearing statement like for the vaccine or for anything else for that matter, you want to keep it simple. And yes, a list of all the ingredients that you want to clear would be valuable, but again, it's not necessary. So thank you everybody who spent some time on helping get this clear. And Kathy came back and said, thanks for all your comment. Here's a revised and much improved version. Left out the detailed ingredients, which I suggested she do, and just given general categories to clear. Other non-beneficial energies that may be in a vaccine, including greed, hate, contempt, fear, and deception. I asked if all the COVID vaccines that had these toxic emotions, and got that they do. The few others I checked are not really nearly as toxic, though they have greed, and even if there is no other ill intent. She said, I went on to say, I was inspired to check this angle from listening to Raymond Grace talk about the spirit of greed in water. I've been putting together, I thought, a lot of thought into this, since this need is so great, and it'll be more and more as time goes on. I love to take Tyson's class, but this will have to do for me now. So this is what she's come up with, and I just made a suggestion to heighten this. So I'm just going to do it now. So I would say, I, Tyhson Banighen, in my I am presence, or you would say in your I am presence and state your name in full. Raise my consciousness to the highest level. I transform fear and hate into pure love, strengthen immunity to the highest level, and maximize my protective and beneficial energies of all vaccine ever received. I neutralize and transform all toxins, viruses, heavy metals, gene modifications, spike proteins, nanoparticles, and all other non-beneficial frequencies originating from vaccines into pure, and I'd say divine love. I heal all damage to mind, body, emotions, and spirits. I place a shield against vaccine shedding from others, and I declare it so in my holy name, so be it. It is done. Thank you. So I just put the intro to it and the exit to it, the gratitude and thanking the higher sources, the source of all that is to assist you in doing that. So I make it into a declaration, but a really good work done by Kathy Wilburn, and thank you very much. That's going to help a lot of people move through the very difficult time. Some of you have taken vaccines, wish you didn't. Those that have want to clear. It depends on where you are. So this will help you whether you decide to take it or not take it, or whether you've taken it and want to deal with the adverse effects that may come from the toxic substances in the vaccine. So there you are, very important protocol. The next one is from Jonathan Royal. He's the magical guru. He talks about how to do hypnotherapy and NLP. And you might say, well, Tyhson, how come you let him advertise in the group? Really quite simple. And if you're listening to the show and you want to market in this group, it's really quite simple. Every Thursday, you get to come in and post to your group with marketing on the condition that I get to post in your group. Really, it's a reciprocal relationship. So if you're wondering why your post is not posted in the group, it's because you haven't come up with a mutual agreement with me so that I can post in your group. So if you'd like to do that, you can private message me and we'll learn how to work together, right? So, and if you're new to the group, welcome. And don't forget that you can pick up your own dowsing book. Dowsing it is, intuition technology, which is another way of saying dowsing. My master teacher and healer, John Living, really had difficulty with the term dowsing because every time he told people, I'm a dowser, they said, oh, you douse for water or you do water witching. He says, no, there's far more to dowsing than just water witching. And anyway, I don't like to use the term water witching or water dowsing. I like the word water enchanting because it's a personal relationship with the diva of the water. That being said, he does believe that dowsing is training wheels for intuition on demand, and therefore he likes the term intuition technology. And because he comes from a very rational, scientific background, because he was an engineer, he likes the whole idea of technology. So whether you call it dowsing or intuition technology, whether you do muscle testing or body swing, this is really your training wheels for guidance and command. It's a really nice little book. I think it's all of 40 pages and you get it for free. Just all you have to do is fill out the form, which means you're on the Wellness Academy mailing list. And we frequently send out marketing and updates to the tribe to let you know what's coming up. And what's coming up is all of the certification courses are now open for registration. So if you'd like to learn how to do distant healing, which is a course taught by John Living himself, there's 20 videos that we recorded that are in the course. And there's, I think, a 64-page manual that you'll receive. And once you've gone through this 3-month program, you'll be certified and been able to do distant healing, how to use charts. And so you can use that for clearing your loved ones, yourself, your clients, houses, and also use the same technique for pets as well. So if this is something you'd like to do, then private message me and let me know that you'd like to join. They're all at half price, so they're regularly $333 a month. We meet once a week for 1 hour, but I've cut it in half. I think the new price is $125 US. So well worth your while taking. And if you don't want to be certified, it's even less. You just take last year's course and all the information is there and you'll learn the information and not be certified. So there you are. So yeah, so scrolling down here, lots going on in the group, and thank you everybody for contributing so much to the group. It's really, really powerful to have that level of involvement. I'm just going to check. I'm curious to know the latest numbers here. Let me see if I can figure this out. The top here, scrolling back up. Yeah, here we are, more and members. Yeah, so we're at 4,437. So thank you all very much. And thank you for coming in and sharing your comments. Greatly appreciated. So let's go back over here to the discussion and look at some of the other comments that have been coming in. So a lot would go, so like the whole one around the vaccine and dealing with it got really a lot of traction, which was great. So thank you very much. I'm trying to see how many there was for that original one. It usually tells me how many. I think it was in the 400s. So anyway, and we talked about the free manual that you can get. And here's one that has to do with growing up in a possessed house. one full of ghosts and goblins and all the rest of things. She says, hello, I'm new here. This is Brandy Hollis. Some quick background. I fully believe I grew up in a house with spiritual activity. As I aged, I used to think of things, but it had significantly decreased. I used to see things, but it has significantly decreased. Several weeks ago, I went on a ghost hunt and used dowsing rods and responded to me immediately about a pair to find things and others to speak to ghosts and spirits. I researched what I could, and when I received my rods, I opened my first pair to find a key that I've been looking for. I ended up speaking to the spirits who claimed to be a 5-year-old girl. I used them a couple more times until my last experience. Okay, my last experience using them was trying to find my keys again, and all the dowsing rods indicated yes or no for questions. I asked, otherwise kept pointing outside, no matter where I stood or how I faced my body, they pointed outside unless I asked a question. The rods would answer, crossing for yes, going apart for no, then move to point outside again. I asked for directions, questions, and if I could dowse them, may I dowse and then follow. Are there ghosts? Yes or no? Are there a spirit? Yes or no? Are there demons? Yes or no? Is my house protected? Yes or no? Am I protected outside? Yes or no? I have been told by a psychic that my daughter is very spiritually in tune than I used to be, but something is blocking me. I was told I have psychic abilities, but I'm all telling them to come through, and I'm not letting them come through. I do not know how I am blocking them or if something else is. I feel like I am very open to communicating. Any insights or help would be appreciated. So yeah, so definitely we're more psychic when we're kids, and definitely because we are more open to being connected to source. We haven't got the programming about how to fit into our culture, our family, our traditions, our religions, and our societal beliefs. So we're more of an open channel when we're young. And sometimes between the ages of 0 and 7, somebody of authority says something to us, or we have some trauma that happens in our life and we shut down our psychic abilities. So that's one thing that can happen. For some of us, we made a soul agreement to incarnate, but when we came to incarnate, in the process of incarnating, we realized what commitment we'd made it, and it was overwhelming, so we didn't fully incarnate into our body. And some of us have experienced so much trauma that we're besides ourselves and that we're not really comfortable being in our body. So really what Brandy is saying is pretty typical of somebody who has had some sort of trauma that has made them feel unsafe in their body. And therefore they have renounced or set aside their psychic abilities, right? Because it's too scary. The other thing is if you're going to contact ghosts, like walking through graveyards, or you're going to go to haunted houses or whatever, you really do need to protect yourself by doing something like the declaring protocol or some auric field around yourself before you go and have a discussion with ghosts and goblins and things that go bump in the night. And certainly when you're finished doing it, you really need to make sure that you don't bring them home, right? Because if you're an empath and you are open, then any Tom, Dick, or Harry at that level of awareness, like a ghost or any energy can jump into your energy fields if you're not aware of how to protect yourself. So I'm just saying, be really careful. And as somebody said here, I think the ghost caught you, not them, right? So being really clear. And as a result, you can end up with possession problems. And in actual fact, we will be doing a depossession, a situation with Brandy in order to help clear her up. So yeah, a lot of this you can avoid. If you've done the deep clearing protocol, you'll know how to manage your energy field. And if you continue to do it and do the short form before you go to a place where there are a lot of spiritual things going on, then you will most likely be protected. But if you don't know that and you just step into that world without knowing how to manage your energy field, like I said, you can pick up a lot of things that you don't want to bring home with you. Okay? Another one that was really interesting is this whole thing about time travel. Like, can I go back from the present into the past and clear something up, like a trauma, unresolved conflict, core fractures. Can I do that? And the answer to that is absolutely you can. When you are doing dowsing, you're really stepping into the 0 point energy, which has no space and no time, and therefore you can move forward and back in time. Now, when you're going back in time, you can clear anything and everything, any trauma or situation, you can go back. And basically, by recognizing what happened to you in that moment, you begin to release the trauma. And as you have that memory and let it process, then it frees you from the trauma so it isn't as overwhelming for you. If you move forward in time, what you're dowsing for is probabilities. So it could be 50% probable that this will happen, or 75% or 100%. It's really never 100% because it's only probable that this will come up to pass if you keep going down the same pathway that you're on now. But usually most people change pretty dramatically in a short period of time, particularly in what's happening on the planet now. Lots of trauma is being released, lots of people going through personal changes and transformation. So we're changing pretty quickly, and also the planetary energies are being upgraded. So we're really not, so what can I say is we're really changing quickly. So your probabilities about dowsing into the future, about what could be, are probably becoming less and less accurate. That being said, things are manifesting quicker and quicker and quicker. So it's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Yes, you are going to be changing how you view the world very, very quickly. But as you think and as you put out what it is you want, it's more likely for you to manifest quicker. So be careful what you think, what you say, and what you do, particularly at this time, because it is manifesting quicker. So yeah, so time travel and dowsing can come together. And that you can move forward and back in time. So here's another one. I've been trying to put more and more clearing statements to give you a sense of, after you do the deep clearing protocol and you go to the short clearing, how do you then adjust the short clearing protocol so it suits the particular thing that you want to clear in your energy field? And so this is sort of the next advanced step after you've been doing the deep clearing protocol from 21 to 60 days, and you want to then hone in on a specific problem that you want to clear. So here's one here. So, and by the way, I'm thinking of doing a regular Friday class where we actually help people to come up with these statements. So you could come on to the class. It's going to be around $33. And you come on and say, I'd really like a clearing statement on this topic, and we will just create it for you. And we'll keep all those clearing statements. So I'm thinking of $33 a month. You'll have available to come to those sessions live, but you'll also be able to sign in at any time and be able to go through all the past ones. And so there'll be a whole series of these that periodically will come out in a booklet form with different topics about how to use the short clearing to clear specific situations and events. So here we are. In my I am presence. And when you do I am presence, that means when I am in resonant frequency with the creator of all that is. So it's a way of making sure that you're coming from your connection to source when you do this work. And when you state your full name, it's like stating your calling card or presenting your calling card to the universe. That you're present and accountable for, and that you'd like to move forward. And then a declaration is a way of stating clearly what it is that you want. So in this case, I am a sovereign human being. I transmute, transfigure, heal, and repair any trauma, unresolved conflict, core fractures, or toxic emotions that weaken my immune system, my bioenergy field, my meridians and chakras, so that I am strong enough to repel any and all non-beneficial energies from any and all sources, known or unknown, including but not limited to disease, disorder, or cell mutation that leads to a diagnosis of cancer. And if you have a diagnosis, you could put the diagnosis in there, a diagnosis of such and such cancer. I declare it so be it. It is done. Thank you. So this is interesting in that I've mixed both a positive and a negative statement. So And after you've done this a number of times, you really don't need to spin your pendulum. But if you wanted to separate this out and spin your pendulum according to whether you're clearing and installing, when you say I'm a sovereign human being, that's an installation, that's a declaration, that's saying I am this, right? I declare this. When you're doing I transmute, transfigure, you're actually clearing. So it's counterclockwise, okay? Or I'm healing and repairing, that's counterclockwise. So when you're installing, it's clockwise. When you're clearing, it's counterclockwise. Okay, and if you're combining them together, don't worry about it. When you're really clear that I am in my I am present doing this, this, and this, that the spinning your pendulum is not as relevant. Okay, hopefully that makes it clear. And don't forget, the lines are open and you can phone in toll free in North America. It's 1-866-369-7464. Standing by to take your call. And in the meantime, we'll just be going through all the feedback that's happening in the Dowsing and Energy Healing Post Facebook group. Don't forget, right after this, at the top of the hour at 3 p.m. Pacific time, is a Garden Like a Guru show. So why listen to the Garden Like a Guru show? Very straightforward. It is important for food security to learn to grow your own food. And you're thinking, well, yeah, but here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going into fall and I missed the opportunity and it's harvest time. Yes, it's true you can't grow your garden, but you can still grow some things inside. You can do window gardening. You can grow your own herbs inside. You can do your own sprouts inside. You can have to create a little mini greenhouse inside. So there's lots of things you can do to keep growing things through the winter months. And there's nothing more vitally nutritious than to grow your own food, particularly sprouts. Really straightforward way to do it and to get the nutrients that you need. So, and also the winter is a really good time to plan for next year's garden. That's why Gardening Like a Guru show is really worth subscribing to now while it's still at the reduced price and the inner circle. And you can watch all of the video and all the tutorials. And it really helps to watch them ahead of time before you start going out and gardening. Because if you're trying to watch them while you're doing something is almost impossible. There's so much information that you're going to want to watch it more than once. So really is now the time that you want to do the show, the Garden Like a Guru, and do the online course so that you're ready for how to do this when the spring comes to your climate. And of course, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, this is absolutely the time in which you should be learning how to plant your own garden, right? Just the reverse. So the spring is coming there and it's the fall here. This is the time that you want to put all this into play. Now, the calendar for planting and using biodynamics in the Southern Hemisphere, I'm sure you can find that information. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's all given to you according to the actual calendar from the Northern Hemisphere perspective, but in the Southern Hemisphere, I would make sure that I get a calendar that has biodynamic information, because you'll be doing, like we're harvesting, you're planting. So it's the reverse. So you want to make sure that you're following the right calendar so you know what you're doing. Also, now is the time to order your calendar for the Northern Hemisphere and get a good deal, and also your journal where you can write in your journal about what you accomplished in your garden, and so that when you come back next year, you can know when you planted, what you planted, when you know, what was successful, what wasn't, and it's got lots and lots of information in it. This is, I'll just stop sharing for a moment so you can see the screen. So here's what the journal looks like for last year. Lots of really good information in here. It's called the Goddess Notebook, a date book. But in here is all the moon phases and how to garden with the moon phases, why it's important, all the biodynamic symbols, what they mean on your calendar, all about how to plant, when to plant, what are companion plants, What are in the seed packages so you can order your seeds now for next year. Yeah, all sorts, and then there's stories in here, all sorts of wonderful stuff. It's just a compendium of knowledge from the wisdom of the garden guru herself, Sarah Bradshaw, of how to, everything you need to know to do your garden and be successful in growing your own food. And so why do that? Okay, from what I've been hearing is we're about to experience food shortages, both not only because of the droughts that have been happening planetary wise. Also, there seems to be bottlenecks in the whole container shipments out of China because of COVID. There also seems to be the government is having farmers plow under their crops for whatever reason, which is beyond me. So, and some of the big chains, the upper echelons are reporting that some of the things are ordering are backlogged. So it really, I really encourage you to think about making sure that you have food on hand for the winter, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, so this is brings out the Mormon in you. The Mormons say 2 years worth of food, but I think that's a lot, but certainly at the very least a couple of weeks worth of food, and it would be much better if you had a couple of months worth of food. Yes, you can do that, and you can rotate it so it doesn't go stale. It's just a matter of thinking things through really, and you can do it at the community level so that you're sharing resources. So you do one part and the other person does the other part. Now in the Northern Hemisphere is a time in which you can get organic vegetables at a reduced rate if you get 25 pounds of carrot or 50 pounds of potatoes and put them up in a root cellar. If you don't know how to do a root cellar, you can do it in your basement, pretty straightforward. You just need to make sure that the air is circulating so there isn't, so there isn't moisture and mold. And so it's really easy. You can Google how to make a root cellar in your basement. If you have a window that opens up to outside, then insulating a corner of your basement to do a root cellar is really straightforward. And you can keep all your root vegetables there. And you can use garbage tin containers to do some grain and get, a grain grinder and maybe a bread mixer to make your own bread, or you can even better make your own homemade bread. So yeah, I really encourage you to do this. It's really important. And why not come on to the show and listen to the Garden Guru and what she has to offer as we go through the actual harvesting time now and setting aside seeds and getting the garden produce picked and processed and getting the garden ready to put to bed for the fall and the winter. So come and join us. So don't forget, this is your show. We got half an hour to go, and the lines are open for you to phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. Standing by to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing. If you would like to take one of the courses, then head over to www.thewellnessacademy.ca. And like I said, the new cycle of courses is available. There's a course on how to do a deep clearing protocol, how to be certified so you can help your clients learn how to do that. There's another course available for dowsing and energy healing to become a master dowser there. There's one on how to become a master at exorcism of possession. And my favorite one is Earth Wisdom Geomancy, which is how to work with elementals and angelic energies to improve homes, businesses, landscapes, how to work with sacred sites, the Lords of Light, the angelic kingdom, which is really great information to work in the gardens or in the forest or in nature to raise the vibrational frequency between humans and to learn how to intuitively do animal communication, plant communication, tree communication, interspecies communication, intergalactic communication, how to talk to ETs, how to work because we're all one in separation is illusion, how to work as a multi-dimensional person with multi-dimensional levels of intelligence to bring about what I would call the new earth. Exciting course. It's sort of like Wizardry 101. Come and learn how to be a wizard or a wizard in a dress, and come and play. It's a lot of fun, a lot of nice things to learn. And why not raise the consciousness of where you live? So you have a feedback loop between nature around you that feeds you as you feed your energy back into nature. Really, really powerful results can happen. So there's that going on. Also, if you want to have a sense of, well, what's this fifth dimension, this ascension, what's this new earth about? What's happening on planet Earth healthy anyway? There's so much going on, so much trauma that's being released. What the heck is going on? I encourage you to go over to the Wellness Academy and go into, and at the top banner, just put just look for events and you'll find the Gathering of the Eagles. Take a look at the book, the PDF form of the Gathering of the Eagles. Have a read. See if you're an Eagle. See if you're called to that work. And then you can Google on Facebook. There'll be an open group for the Gathering of the Eagles and see if there's information there that you would like to learn. And also in the training of that is how to create your own group of 12 around one. How do you facilitate a group? And of course, a group can bring about change and transformation much quicker than an individual. And if you aren't part of a group, I really encourage you to go find a group of like-minded people that you can work and play with and learn. Now is the time to do this. The time of the lone wolf is over. The time to work in community of like-minded people is now. Particularly if you're an empath, it's time for you to find a fellow change agents that are here to help clean up the planet, the doulas for birthing the new earth. So yeah, head over there and look under events for the Gathering of the Eagles, then join us on the open Facebook page and be part of the ongoing discussion. So that's another aspect in which you can be involved. So we're about to change the format of the Healing Hour. We're going to go back to the Wellness Show. We have the Wellness Academy, the Wellness Show, and the Wellness Store, which sells products that are environmentally sensitive for personal and hygiene, both in the kitchen and in the bathroom, and also products that raise your energy, help you to clear and deal with viruses and influenza. Also, there's tinctures coming in, dowsing tools and products. So lots of good stuff that's available. It is all under the Wellness Academy or the Wellness Store or the Wellness Show. So the Healing Hour will now go back to being the Wellness Show. We'll have guest facilitators come in as co-hosts of the show. If you'd like to be a co-host on the show and you have a tribe that would like to learn from both what you are doing and I'm doing, then come on as a co-host on the show and we'll broadcast to your Facebook channel and they will get to attend the show as well. We're going to have a closed aspect of the show where for a small sum, a monthly sum, you'll be able to join us on Zoom in the back room, and you'll be the first to be able to get your questions answered or to receive a clearing or a healing. So that's coming up. I'm excited about that. And every week we'll be choosing somebody for the last half hour of the show to break them loose from whatever trauma or unresolved conflict, toxic emotions they want to clear. And so we'll be able to do that live so you'll understand why it's valuable to work with myself or the host who will be on the show as the co-host, why it would be important to work with us and to take your life back personally and stand in your truth and deliver your awesome gifts to the world. So it's pretty quiet out there. And that's basically what I wanted to say. And is that it will be a new show and a new format. So stay tuned for that. And I think we're just going to wrap it up here now. Nobody's phoning in, and we'll be able to come up with you with the new format very quickly. It will probably be the same time and the same place, although we might review that as well. So until next week, which will be the Healing Hour, we want you to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And bye for now.